Hello and welcome back to another week of Sambo iRacing. We are back in the Ferrari 296 GT3, this time at Interlagos for yet another track guide. Now, if you're new to my channel, we do a hot lap, then a breakdown, then we are back in the cockpit one final time with the driving line on. And to continue, we are now making these setups available. So if you want to race this exact setup, curated by none other than Gianni Lutzu, a real-life racing driver, 10.5k iRating, and an all-round iRacing god, then all you need to do is check out our Patreon page. Link is in the description. It is $3 for the single setup or $12 for the membership if you want everything that we've ever produced and will produce. Right, let's start the hot lap. So here we are smashing it down the main straight, looking for the 50 marker as we get there, breaking up to our 85%, long trail off down to second gear, cutting that corner, quick lift to get the rotation, now back on the gas. We're going to ride these curves all the way through until a nice exit. So we're going down the back straight now, and what we're looking for is the little entrance road coming up on the right hand side in just a moment. As we get there, we brake up to about 85%, wipe that speed off, trail it off down to second gear. Got to be patient on exit, otherwise you're going to wash out and get an off track. And we're absolutely flat whilst we start looking for this Marshall's hut on the left hand side. As we get there, we brake up to about 45%, quick trail off down to third, down to second, back on the gas. Now, as we get to the exit curbing, we go on the brakes up to about 60%, down to first gear. Now we're back over to the right side, very gently on the brakes, and now patience with the throttle. We're still going to exit nice and wide, get back over to the left-hand side. We're looking for this tree. As we get there, we brake up to about 70%, trail off down to first gear, really having to wait for the car to turn in, and now we're absolutely flat as we go through turn 11. You can see the low fuel has come on. This is because I ran the car until dry, and this was my best lap. Down to second gear, and now we're absolutely flat. We're going to hug it tight over to the left-hand side, cutting across this curving here on the left-hand side, trying not to go into the pits by mistake or hitting the wall. And over and across the line, we shall shortly go in a 1:30.8. Right, we've got the breakdown lap coming up next. Right, so here we are with the breakdown lap, and it's the 50 marker that we're looking for there on the right-hand side. As we get there, we're going to brake briefly up to about 85%. We're going to hold it at around that. Now we're going to wipe that speed off, and as we start turning in towards the corner, we're going to trail it off, leaving it in second gear, making sure our left-hand tyres are well over this curbing on the left here, keeping the right-hand tyres just on the track. Now we're on the gas. Now we're going to do a lift once we get to start turning in for the next corner. And that's just to get the rotation of the front and the rear so that we can actually make it through without hitting the wall up ahead. As you can see, my right-hand tyres are fully on the grass. My left-hand tyres just hanging on to the edge of the track. An awful lot of people have got great technique, but they just don't use the full track limits. And that is why they lose precious time. Right, this bit's nice and straightforward, but up ahead we've got this little entrance road on the right that you can just see there. Now as we get there, we're going to go on the brakes briefly up to about 85%, but it's a fairly sharp trail off this time, making it almost a right angle triangle, and then getting back on the gas as we hit the curbing on the left hand side. But we've got to be very patient on exit, because even though we were patient, we're still all the way out here. Any further out to the right hand side would have been an off track. Now we're flat as we go through the next part, and as I said, we've got this Marshall's hut coming up. Now I start braking just as I get alongside it. It's a lot easier if you can see it in triples, but as I get there, I'm going to be on the brakes up to about 45%, and then it's a relatively long trail off down to second. I start getting back on the gas now, so that when I'm actually hitting the curbing, I'm fully back up to 100%, as you can see here. And pause, there we go, as you can see here, back up to 100%. And now as I get to the outside and I'm back on the left-hand curbing, that's when I get on the brakes up to about 60%, down to first gear. Takes, or it feels like it takes, an age to turn in, and then we get back on the gas once we hit the apex. And then we're going to want to go over to the right-hand side once we're there. And now we're going to do a lift, and we're just brushing the brakes with our left foot here. It's only up to about 10%. Now we'll start getting back on the gas as we hit the curbing. But again, you've got to be so patient with the throttle, because even though we were patient, we've come all the way out here. Anything further out to the right is an off track. Out looking for that tree on the left-hand side. As we get alongside that tree, we're going to go on the brakes up to about 70%. And once again, it's another first gear corner, trail it off all the way down to the apex and then start picking back up on the gas. And once we straighten the car out, we want to be over to the right-hand side so that we can swing back absolutely flat out through the next corner, which is turn 11. Now, it's a tricky braking marker before turn 12. It's roughly halfway along this weird cobbled bit that you can see just in front of me. As we get there, we're on the brakes up to about 80-85%. Short trail off back into the gas in second gear. I could be another 1.5 foot over to the left-hand side. I was looking at my delta, getting excited that this was going to be the lap that I could cut. It's not that I don't like doing guides, it's just when you're doing 15 of them a week, very happy when you complete one. And over and across the line we go in a 1:30.8. Now we've got one final version coming up next with the driving line on without me talking, because I know some of you guys like to learn that way. Any questions, let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.